Hi. This is a reflection on Lesson 210 in A Course in Miracles, which is a review of Lesson 190. It says, I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Is that what it says? Yeah, I think so. I'm sleepy. I've been awake since like 1 a.m. Yeah, 1:30 a.m. I'm in Costa Rica now. And so it's been a long day of travel and activities and getting settled. So I may not be super coherent for this, but what I think about this one is that this lesson talks about how pain is not of God. It's actually due to our thoughts. Like, pain is a thought. And I think I remember reflecting on this original lesson the first time around and really struggling with how is really deep physical pain just a thought. And maybe it's funny because today on my shuttle ride from the airport to the town I'm in, it was like a 2-hour drive, and I had this weird pain in my stomach. It felt like weird, probably because I was crunched up all day on a plane. And I was like trying to pay attention to it, like go into the pain. And I noticed that it was kind of hard to pin down. And so I thought, well, something is just, this sensation I'm feeling is not pleasant, but it's ever changing. It's not like standing still. And I noticed my mind following the pain, and then it would change, and eventually it lightened up to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't notice the pain anymore. So maybe there's still something about that. Like, pain really is a thought. Emotional pain, yes, I agree. Like, the source of that is usually like thoughts about something. Could be the way we think about the things that happened to us that resulted in trauma in the body or whatever. It could be anything. So yeah, so that's what I thought of this one. I did a little practice with it. Luckily, I had a pain to think about today. But yeah, I think that choosing the joy of God instead of pain is, I do think that it is a choice. And the more I practice that, sometimes I'll just, be in a funk, like a mood, or I'll wake up and immediately have like negative thoughts. And now, so it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's noticeable, and I'm like, I start to follow, it's like such a habit, that I start to follow those thoughts, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I create space, so I stop that, and then I'm like, actually, I can choose a totally different way to think, to feel, definitely to act. I don't have to act out those negative thoughts. And it's been fascinating to me when I've done that it's like, it's always a choice. Sometimes the choice is just harder to make based on the intensity of the thoughts, those pain thoughts. But I can choose joy. I can just, and if I have to just do some breathing and like really get embodied, meaning drop out of this and into this, it's like, okay, there it is. But I think it's annoying, it's frustrating, because it takes like sometimes a really big effort. And I wonder if this this habit to go toward negative, it's like it's all, I think, in the name of safety, keeping us safe, assessing threat, especially if we've had adverse childhood experiences. That's what we've had to do our whole life until we break that cycle by healing those parts of ourselves, by really looking at them honestly and saying, wait a minute, does it have to be this way? Do I have to repeat my stories? Do I have to repeat my feelings? What assumptions am I making about myself, my identity, everything? So it's hard to stop that machinery, but once I'll just speak for me personally, once I do a few times, and it's like, oh, okay, there's a whole bunch more space here than I ever thought. Like, I didn't even think about that before, that there could be a different way to think, a different way to feel, a different, like, that was just an energetic pattern repeating, and I didn't have to follow it anymore. So anyway, that's what this lesson made me think about. Pain is a thought, like how thoughts influence. I like how we can choose which thoughts to follow, and I think I'll follow the joy ones, get embodied, and then it's not about thought at all. You just drop into joy.